Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Proper Baron, and this is of course Crusader Kings 3. Now this is Dev Diary, I want to say 71, let me check this actually, yeah 71, there you go. And today we got, you already saw it right there, the coat of arms generator that has been created by the team, namely by meticulously. And I want to highlight this tweet because he tweeted this on the 28th, so 3 days ago. Nothing like a game of Crusader Kings to end a long week feeling extra regal today, a duck emoji. And I said to myself, that's a bad tweet. I saw the tweet and thought to myself, that's a bad tweet. I'm not even gonna like that, Matt. You ruined it. And then I saw this today. This is just incredible. Can you see this? Okay, now how is this possible? What exactly is done? And is this, coat of arms creator something you should be worrying about, or rather that you should be happy about? Let's take a look at that. I think there's something to be said there, because there is now a new mod as well that basically does this, but not even close to quite. It does a lot. I recommend it a lot until this comes out, but I do want to highlight that now. A coat of arms of your own. What a weird title. Okay, I'm Matthew, one of the programmers on the CK3 team, and today I'm going to talk to you about one of the free features in the upcoming 1.5 patch, the much requested coat of arms designer. Now, the coat of arms designer, just to sort of talk about this for a second, it is long requested. Many people wanted it. I wanted it for such a long time, and it wasn't something that came, with the content, or rather with the character creator. Now, this changes. Back then they said it is a bit more difficult than the way it was in CK2 because of how the content creator for the coat of arms, creation works. And the truth is, honestly, with what we have here, I have to agree. Now, let's take a look at why that is and what it's all about. I don't think the idea needs much explanation. This feature lets you edit the coat of arms used for your titles, dynasty, and house in-game, and from within the ruler designer to create your own stunning medieval crest. Right now, here is what you will be greeted by now if you enter the customization window of the Holy Roman Empire. Of course, all work in progress. Now, what can we see here? The name, the adjective, we can see the new color palette that they give us as an opportunity. We can also see that you can create a custom coat of arms from scratch, so you start from zero, or you just go and adjust the existing design, which is of course here the Holy Roman Empire. You can also randomize it, which you probably don't want to do. We've all been through that pain. We've all seen the light at the end of the tunnel, and then you click 2 times too often and you lose the randomized result that you really liked. In this case, you might not want to do that. But what is really interesting, what I really love, is the fact that we now can copy to clipboard and paste from clipboard, much like we can do it with DNA, for example, in CK3. Really, really good stuff. I like that because, I want my one proper variant icon, the way I had it in some of my streams in the past, and I would like to just copy-paste that without having to do it over and over again. Now let's talk about what we can see. Of course, randomizing. Yep, okay, that makes sense. As with the ruler designer's DNA, we let you copy and paste your coat of arms to share. If you've previously edited and saved your new coat of arms, then the discard button will be joined by a button to reset to one historical coat of arms, if possible. I like it. So discard changes lets you, essentially you can get rid of it while you're working on it, but if you finish it and then say, I don't know, my 15 ducks on this coat of arms, they're not as good as, the Holy Roman Empire sigil itself, you can just get rid of it. Good stuff. The coat of arms designer has 3 main panels: background, layout, and emblems. We also give you a color picker to let you pick whatever horrifying neon color you want. So they got this general color right here that you can pick. That is a selection of colors where you can basically go, okay, I want something that really makes sense for me here. Something that is a nice color. If you want to go wild, then you can do it right there. It shows you this as the house, dynasty. What is this? This is a barony, I believe, and this is a normal title, so this would be county, duchy, and so on and so forth. Or is this also house? I don't think so. Anyway, oh no, this is just in the title menu, right? Any title looks like this, and this is on the map. There you go. This is the Holy Roman Empire, and you can see these symbols right here. This is basically the background. You choose the general pattern, and then with this general pattern, you can build up. So far, pretty simple, right? It isn't something where you go, oh, that took you this long, makes a lot of sense. Now, let's check further. Next up, we have the layouts panel. They dictate the overall amount of positioning of the emblems in your coat of arms. This panel is disabled entirely in the adjusted mode. So, if you say, I just want to adjust the existing design, then this panel doesn't exist. To preempt this question, yes, there are only a few layouts in this picture, some even duplicates, and that is because the other preset layouts are currently being worked on, so there will be more than this in the released version. You can see it right here. Basically, this does, basic placement. So far, so good as well. I want to add that. It doesn't look too complex. It doesn't look, too special, but we're gonna get to that in just a second, I think. The bulk of time that you will spend is likely to be in the final emblems panel. This lets you pick which of the over 1,000 emblem textures that you want to use, as well as how you color them. You can select which emblem instance you want to edit, or select multiple of them by shift clicking. There's also a button to select all of them or reset your selection too, so you can edit in bulk easier. I am so excited about this part. If you've seen the coat of arms designer for CK2, yeah, it was nice most of the time, incredibly ugly, but that's just because it's CK2 essentially. Honestly, the sigils were pretty bad. There were some mods that made them so much better, but the vanilla sigils were not that great. This is a big change, and why is something we're going to see in just a second. So let's just take a look at this. We chose basically, if I go back, we chose this pattern right here. That's the layout that we got. And then, you know, we basically see each one of them here. So these are all of the instances of emblems that we see right here. This is the color of the currently selected emblem, and we can change it in the texture setting right here. You see a bunch of symbols, so many symbols, over 1,000. And yes, before you ask, they already are looking into basically putting them into lists similar to Stellaris. Very exciting. I'm excited to see that. But yeah, basically, there's gonna be a lot on that, and we're gonna take a look at that here in a second. You can see it as well. In this case, the fleur-de-lis, the first one was altered, was changed to this sunflower symbol, I would guess, was made white, and then was, you know, positioned just where it is. But it gets so much better, because we haven't answered the question at all. How did he do this? How did he arrive at just one duck among the fleur-de-lis? And the answer is, of course, that you can get a lot wilder than just, oh, we have a general, you know, layout, and then that is all we have. No, you get a lot wilder. Let's take a look at it. Since some historical coat of arms can have a lot of emblems, we show them in a page setup of 10 at a time for easier editing. I use France a lot of in my testing, since it has so many, to make sure things always worked on a large amount of them, which has now ingrained into my brain that our France coat of arms has 33 fleur-de-lis on it. We also have a detailed edit mode, which lets you go deeper and modify the exact position, scale, and rotation of all your emblems, as well as modify what layer they are on, and even add and remove them to your heart's content. With a detailed edit mode, you can really end up with a custom coat of arms to represent the majesty of your dynasty, or as I'm sure some of you will do, try and find a way to make it look phallic as possible. Thank you for making me say the word phallic, Matt. I, you know, should have probably proofread that. Listen, this is the base thing. Looks interesting, right? But now, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. Oh my god, look at this. I love this so much. This is so good. Position X, Y. So we got left, right. Then we got the rotation. You know how it goes there. We got the scale X, Y. They already, and we're gonna get to that in a second as well. But somebody already asked, hey, can we make it so that X and Y, you know, it goes becomes smaller and larger at the same rate, so that I don't have to constantly change the actual layout there. And they said we're gonna work on that. That would definitely be a nice to have feature. But yeah. I love that. All of these edits are also support an undo redo system to make incremental changes easier. Why don't we take a look at this? How you doing? There's no music here. It is what it is. Look at what he's doing right here. You can see that he's choosing the different colors. We're running in 2 speed, of course, because we are very fast fellas, and you can see it right there. The emblems are being changed, then random emblems are being added. You can change the position. This is like Photoshop, like, you know, any photo editing software to begin with. You can see them changed right there. This is actually really good. I really, really like how they did this, how Matt did this, I suppose. This is in the free update. I do want to mention that. We still don't have a release date. And I'd be excited to get more news about the paid update as well, you know, the paid content. But yeah, look at that. All of a sudden, you got a completely different icon. You can go back, and then, of course, after the discard changes, you can also revert back to it. But just look at it. We started basically with this, and then in 1.5 minutes, I mean, does it look good? No. But it was made in a very short amount of time, okay? Many shout-out commiserations to user Lajotueur, who on Saturday released a mod to try and implement a coat of arms design and had to fight against doing all this very manually in the script with a hacky UI, only for me to come in a few days later and release this dev there. I do want to say thank you as well to that modder, because that is an amazing mod. You may have seen it in the workshop. Make sure to check the description, because it will be in there. The mod is in there, and you can use it until this becomes a vanilla feature with a bit more, I mean, with a lot more freedom and with a lot more user friendliness, but that is not the modder's fault. That is because, you know, the modder basically did everything that could be done without everybody's head exploding, I would say. Now, we got a couple of questions right here. Answered by Oxycoon and by Black Ninja, so this is a great team of developers answering the questions here. Will you be able to change the primary title's coat of arms into your dynasty coat of arms? Yes, copy and paste, of course. Could you add a key proportions checkbox when resizing emblems? I wouldn't want to fiddle with scale X and scale Y to match them manually. That is on my list of nice to haves. Yes, makes things a bit easier. Please, Matt, please, do it. I have to ask, will the patterns, emblems, and stuff be moddable? Seems like a great place to allow user customization. Yes, any mod-added patterns, layouts, or emblems will appear in the designer. I am so happy. That is really good. Would it be possible to group emblems like in Stellaris? Right. I believe one of the CDs, content designers, were doing some sorting on that just yesterday. At least I heard him complaining about ambiguity as to what to categorize some emblems as. Something along the lines of this goes into religion, culture, birds, WTF, religion, WTF, WTF. I cannot say how that will work, however. It'd definitely be a nice thing to have, given the sheer amount of emblems. Yeah, listen, it's 1,000 emblems. You need something, maybe even a search bar, but I don't think a search bar is viable because, like, you're gonna search for stuff that, you know, isn't really on the radar of the content designers that are putting it into the game. I do think categorization, much like in Stellaris, is the better option here. And I think that's it. Let me see, let me refresh right here. Yeah, that's it. Now, what do I think about this dev diary? I think this is a good addition. I think this is ahead of CK2, of anything that we've seen before when it comes to the design of flags, but I will say, come on, give me some dev diaries on the meat, on the juice, okay? But again, I will say, I do think this is a great feature. I do think the way it is implemented is significantly more enhanced than it has been in the past, and I do think that this is quite user-friendly as well, especially because it makes it so that you can also, this was also asked in my Discord actually, this was asked in my Discord, can you change the emblems of your houses in your dynasty? And I believe the answer is yes. Oh, and would you look at that, we actually have some more information. Matthew has answered questions in my Discord about this. Now, you can't see this, but don't worry about it. Rules for editing, who is generally quite sensible. You can rename what you are in charge of or above of. Of course, that is much like it has been before. Quartering can be disabled, so the quartering of houses and whatnot can be disabled. And on top of that, let me just take a look at this. That being said, does being the dynasty head allow you to mess with the various cadet branches, COAs as well? Yes, as long as they are not a player, of course. That means if there's a house in your dynasty, you're the dynasty head, and you really think that is a different, just an ugly symbol, you can just change it. You can go and change it so that your dynasty always has beautiful, beautiful icons. Yeah, you just need to be in charge of the house head, etc., etc. Very cool, very cool. I'm a big, big fan of what they've done here. Again, please do deliver me with some additional news about the actual mechanical changes, because I'm incredibly excited about what we've heard so far, and I would like to see some of it even in action, frankly. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. For now, I would like to thank all of the members of the channel, namely the barons, the counts, and the dukes, and see you later, alligator.